I found the papers by accident on a Tuesday morning. Baby Emma was napping, and I was cleaning coffee stains from my husband's desk when I saw the folder. Adoption Proceedings, Emma Claire Thompson, was written across the top in my mother-in-law's perfect handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it. Legal forms, financial records, character references, all prepared without my knowledge. Helena Thompson, my mother-in-law, had been planning to adopt my 3-month-old daughter. The worst part? My husband Michael's signature was already on half the documents. I sat there staring at papers that would legally steal my baby. Helena had always been controlling, but this crossed every line. She thought I was too young, too poor, too unstable to raise Emma properly. But she forgot one important thing about me. I don't give up without a fight. If you like our revenge stories, please subscribe for more. We drop powerful new stories every week, filled with truth, emotion, and justice. Don't miss the next one. And remember, some stories hurt, but they heal too. Subscribe now and join the journey. Helena Thompson had always been methodical, rich, powerful, connected. She owned the biggest law firm in town and had judges on speed dial. When she wanted something, she usually got it. But looking through her adoption papers, I realized she'd made one crucial mistake. She underestimated me. The documents showed months of planning. Financial assessments proving I couldn't provide for Emma. Medical records questioning my mental health after birth. Character witnesses claiming I was unfit. Everything was signed, sealed, and ready to file. Except for one small detail. I took photos of every single page with my phone. Then I put everything back exactly where I found it. Helena would never know I'd seen her plan. I kissed sleeping Emma's forehead and whispered, "Mommy's going to protect you, baby girl." The war had begun, but Helena didn't know it yet. I spent the next week pretending everything was normal. Helena visited every afternoon, bringing expensive baby clothes and offering to babysit. She smiled sweetly while plotting to steal my daughter. "You look tired, dear," she said, bouncing Emma on her lap. "Perhaps you should rest more. New mothers need proper care." I smiled back. "I'm fine. Just adjusting to motherhood." But I was far from fine. I was angry, scared, and determined. Every night after Michael fell asleep, I researched adoption laws, parental rights, and legal loopholes. Helena thought she was clever, but she'd left a trail. Bank records showing payments to witnesses. Email chains with her lawyer discussing my instability. Text messages with Michael about Emma's future. I printed everything and hid it in a safety deposit box downtown. Evidence. That's what I needed. If you like our revenge stories, please subscribe for more. We drop powerful news stories every week, filled with truth, emotion, and justice. Don't miss the next one. And remember, some stories hurt, but they heal too. Subscribe now and join the journey. The hardest part wasn't Helena's scheming. It was discovering Michael's role in it. I found his text messages Thursday night while he showered. Months of conversations with his mother about Emma's custody. He'd been feeding Helena information about our finances, my postpartum struggles, everything. "Mom's right," one message read. "Emma deserves stability, financial security." Another, "Maybe temporary custody would be best, just until we get back on our feet." My heart broke reading those words. The man I married, the father of my child, had betrayed us both. But heartbreak turned to fury when I read his final message. "I signed the preliminary papers today. Helena says she'll file next week." I screenshot everything and transferred the images to my secure folder. Michael wasn't just complicit. He was actively helping Helena steal our daughter. The enemy wasn't just outside my house. He was sleeping beside me. I couldn't trust Michael, but I needed allies. Smart ones. People Helena couldn't buy or intimidate. My first call was to my college roommate, Ashley. She'd become a family lawyer in the city. We met at a coffee shop downtown while Helena babysat Emma. "This is serious," Ashley said, reviewing the photos on my phone. "But you have something powerful here. Evidence of conspiracy, fraud, and manipulation." She explained Helena's strategy. Paint me as unstable, highlight our financial struggles, then swoop in as the responsible grandmother. It was brilliant and completely illegal. "She's using her connections to fast-track the process," Ashley continued. But that's also her weakness. Judges don't like being manipulated. I hired Ashley that day. Not with money I didn't have, but with a promise. When this was over, Helena would pay every legal fee. My daughter's future depended on it. Helena's plan required proof of my mental instability, so I decided to give her exactly what she wanted. I started small, forgetting to return her calls, leaving dirty dishes in the sink when she visited, wearing the same clothes 2 days in a row. "Sweetheart, you're concerning me," Helena said, touching my forehead like I had a fever. "Perhaps you should speak to someone professional." "I'm fine," I mumbled, holding Emma closer. "Just tired." But Helena was taking notes. I saw her scribbling in a small notebook after each visit, building her case against me. What she didn't know was that I was building a case too, recording our conversations, documenting her manipulative comments, gathering evidence of her emotional abuse. Every concerned suggestion was actually criticism designed to make me doubt myself. Every offer to help was an attempt to prove I couldn't manage alone. But I was managing perfectly. I was just pretending not to. Ashley called with disturbing news. Helena had scheduled a meeting with Judge Patterson for the following Monday, an emergency custody hearing, claiming immediate danger to Emma's welfare. "She's moving fast," Ashley warned. "We need to act now." That weekend, I made my move. I called Helena, voice shaking with fake tears. "I can't do this anymore," I sobbed. "You're right. Emma deserves better than me." Helena's voice changed instantly, becoming gentle and soothing. "Oh, darling. I know this is hard, but you're making the right choice." We arranged to meet at her lawyer's office Monday morning. She thought I was surrendering, agreeing to sign away my parental rights. Instead, I was walking into battle. Ashley would be waiting in the courthouse across the street. My evidence folder was ready. My recorder was charged. Helena expected a broken young mother. She was about to meet a warrior instead. Monday morning arrived gray and cold. I dressed carefully, not too neat, not too messy. Helena needed to see the struggling mother she'd created in her mind. Emma slept peacefully in her carrier as we walked into the law office. Helena's lawyer, Mr. Peterson, smiled warmly and offered coffee. "This is brave of you," he said, spreading papers across the mahogany table. "Emma will have every advantage with Helena." I nodded silently, scanning the documents. Custody transfer forms, financial arrangements, even a statement declaring me unfit to parent. But hidden among the official papers was something unexpected. A personal letter from Helena to her sister, detailing her rescue mission to save Emma from her inadequate mother. She'd accidentally included it in my paperwork, and it was evidence of premeditation. I signed nothing that morning. Instead, I gathered every document they'd prepared and walked out. "I need time to think," I said quietly. Helena smiled, thinking she'd won. She had no idea what was coming. Ashley was waiting at the courthouse when I arrived with Helena's papers. Her eyes widened as she read through the documents. "This is perfect," she said. "They've documented their entire conspiracy. The personal letter alone proves malicious intent." We filed our own emergency motion that afternoon, not just to prevent Helena's custody grab, but to expose her manipulation campaign and request supervised visitation only. The filing included everything: Helena's adoption papers, Michael's text messages, the secretly recorded conversations, financial records showing her payments to witnesses. But the crown jewel was Helena's own letter, describing me as mentally weak and financially hopeless. Written months before Emma was even born. Judge Patterson would see exactly who Helena really was. Not a concerned grandmother, but a calculating woman who'd planned to steal my baby from day one. The hearing was set for Thursday morning. Helena had no idea she was about to be exposed. Helena called Tuesday night, voice dripping with fake sweetness. "I haven't heard from you since our meeting," she said. "Are you having second thoughts? That's perfectly normal." I let her talk, recording every word. She painted herself as the selfless grandmother, sacrificing her golden years to raise my daughter properly. "Emma needs stability," Helena continued. "Private school, college funds, social connections. Things you simply cannot provide." "You're probably right," I whispered. adding just enough doubt to keep her confident. Michael was suspicious, though. He'd been watching me carefully since Monday, asking questions about my mood, my plans. "You seem different," he said that night. "More focused." "I'm just thinking about Emma's future," I replied truthfully. He nodded, satisfied. He had no idea I was thinking about protecting that future from his mother's greed. Thursday morning would change everything. Judge Patterson's courtroom was smaller than I'd expected. Helena arrived with 2 lawyers and a briefcase full of character witnesses. She wore her best pearls and most sympathetic expression. I sat alone with Ashley and my evidence folder. "Your Honor," Helena's lead lawyer began, "we're here to protect an innocent child from an unstable home environment." He painted me as depressed, financially desperate, and emotionally volatile. Helena nodded sadly at each accusation, playing the worried grandmother perfectly. Then Ashley stood up. "Your Honor, we have evidence that this entire proceeding is based on fraud, manipulation, and conspiracy." Helena's face paled as Ashley began presenting our documentation. The secret adoption papers, the planned character assassination, the payments to false witnesses. But the moment that changed everything was when Ashley read Helena's personal letter aloud. "Emma's mother is exactly the kind of weak woman my son always chooses. Thankfully, children can be removed from inadequate parents." Helena had written those words before Emma was born. The courtroom fell silent as Ashley continued reading Helena's letter. Every cruel word, every calculated plan, exposed for the judge to hear. She even arranged for witnesses to testify against me, I said, standing up. "People she paid to lie about my parenting abilities." Helena's lawyers scrambled to object, but the evidence was overwhelming. Bank records showing payments. Email chains discussing my removal, as Emma's mother. Text messages with Michael about deceiving me. Judge Patterson examined each document carefully. His expression grew darker with every page. "Mrs. Thompson," he addressed Helena directly, "did you plan to adopt your granddaughter without the mother's genuine consent?" Helena stammered, her composed mask finally slipping. "I was protecting the child's best interests." "By lying to this court? By manipulating witnesses? By attempting to steal a baby from her mother?" The truth hung heavy in the courtroom. Helena's plan was crumbling, her reputation in ruins. But I wasn't finished yet. "Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence," I said, pulling out my phone. "A conversation I recorded with my husband last night." Michael's eyes went wide with panic. He'd thought our bedroom discussion was private. Ashley played the audio. Michael's voice filled the courtroom, admitting to helping his mother plan the adoption, admitting to gathering evidence against me, admitting to signing papers behind my back. "She's a good mother," his recorded voice said. "But Mom convinced me Emma would be better off with financial security." Judge Patterson looked disgusted. "Mr. Thompson, you conspired against your own wife and daughter?" Michael couldn't meet anyone's eyes. Helena reached for his hand, but he pulled away. The golden boy was finally seeing his mother clearly. The manipulation, the control, the complete lack of respect for his family. But recognition came too late. The damage was done, and I was just getting started with my revenge. Judge Patterson didn't need long to decide. Helena's custody request was not only denied, but condemned. "I've seen many cases in my career," he said sternly, "but rarely such calculated manipulation of the legal system." Helena was ordered to cease all contact with Emma and myself. No visits, no calls, no gifts. Complete supervised contact only if I ever chose to allow it. But the real blow came next. "Mrs. Thompson, your attempt to fraudulently obtain custody will be reported to the State Bar Association. As a lawyer yourself, you should face professional consequences for this behavior." Helena's face crumbled. Her law firm, her reputation, her standing in the community, all destroyed by her greed. Michael was ordered into mandatory counseling before any unsupervised visits with Emma. As we left the courtroom, Helena tried one last manipulation. "You're making a mistake," she hissed. "I was trying to help." I looked her directly in the eyes. "You were trying to steal my daughter. Now everyone knows exactly who you really are." The local newspaper picked up the story by Friday evening. Prominent lawyer attempts fraudulent adoption of own granddaughter. Helena's photograph was splashed across the front page. By Monday, 3 of her biggest clients had terminated their contracts. Her law partners were considering removing her name from the firm. Michael moved out that weekend, not to his mother's house, but to his brother's apartment across town. He was finally understanding the depth of Helena's manipulation. "I'm sorry," he said, packing his clothes. "I thought I was doing what was best for Emma." "You thought wrong," I replied, holding our daughter close. "But maybe you can learn from this." Emma giggled, reaching for her father's face. She didn't understand the adult's drama. She only knew love. That innocence was exactly what I'd fought to protect. And I'd won. But Helena wasn't finished trying to destroy us. Helena couldn't accept defeat gracefully. Within a week, mysterious reports started appearing. Child Protective Services received anonymous tips about Emma's care. The health department got complaints about our apartment's safety. Each investigation found nothing wrong, but the harassment was exhausting and expensive. Then Helena got creative. She started a whisper campaign through her social circle, painting me as an unstable mother who'd manipulated the court system. But her biggest mistake was underestimating how thoroughly she'd destroyed her own credibility. "Everyone knows what really happened," my neighbor Mrs. Garcia said. "That woman tried to steal a baby. Nothing she says matters now." The community had chosen sides, and they weren't supporting the lying grandmother. Still, Helena persisted. Fake online reviews about my character, complaints to my employer about my reliability, even attempts to have my car insurance canceled. She was desperate, which made her dangerous. But desperation also made her careless. I learned from our courtroom victory. Every anonymous complaint, every whispered rumor, every attempt to sabotage my life was documented and reported. Ashley helped me file harassment charges, building a pattern of behavior that proved Helena's vindictive nature. "She's violating the no-contact order in spirit if not in letter," Ashley explained. "Judges don't like sore losers." The evidence was overwhelming. Helena's campaign was traced back to her through digital footprints, witness accounts, and her own careless mistakes. My favorite was the online review she'd written about my workplace. She forgot to log out of her law firm's account, directly connecting her to the harassment. But the most satisfying evidence came from an unexpected source. Helena's own sister, disgusted by her behavior, started recording their phone conversations. "You're obsessed," Helena's sister told her during one call. "That baby isn't yours to take." Helena's response was chilling. "She'll regret crossing me. I'll make sure of that." Threats, harassment, and continued manipulation. All recorded and ready for court. Our second court appearance was even more devastating for Helena. Judge Patterson was furious about the continued harassment, especially given his previous warnings. "Mrs. Thompson, you were explicitly ordered to cease contact," he said sternly. "Instead, you've escalated your campaign against this family." Helena's new lawyer tried to claim she wasn't responsible for anonymous complaints, but the evidence was ironclad. Her sister's recordings were particularly damaging. Helena's own words, promising revenge, threatening continued harassment, admitting to the anonymous reports. "Your Honor," Ashley argued, "Mrs. Thompson has shown complete disregard for this court's authority and continued predatory behavior toward my client and her infant daughter." Judge Patterson agreed. Helena was held in contempt, fined heavily, and warned that any further contact would result in jail time. But the real victory was personal. Helena's mask had completely slipped. Everyone could see her true nature now. She was no longer the respected community leader, but a bitter woman who'd tried to steal a baby. The State Bar Association moved quickly once Judge Patterson filed his complaint. Helena faced formal ethics charges including fraud, perjury, and abuse of the legal system. Her law firm partnership was dissolved within a month. 40 years of building her practice, destroyed by her obsession with controlling my family. Local newspapers followed every development. Helena's reputation was in ruins, her career finished, her social standing obliterated. But the consequence that hurt her most was losing Michael's respect completely. "I can't believe I let you manipulate me," he told her during their final conversation, which I heard through his phone. You tried to steal my daughter. Helena cried, begged forgiveness, promised to change. But Michael was done. You're not the mother I thought you were, he said quietly. You're exactly who Emma's mother said you were all along. That recognition was worth more than any court victory. Michael finally saw the truth about his mother's controlling, manipulative nature. Michael and I didn't immediately reconcile. Trust, once broken, takes time to repair. He started therapy, working through years of manipulation by his mother, learning to recognize when he was being controlled, how to set boundaries, how to think independently. I was raised to believe Mom was always right, he explained during one of our supervised visits with Emma. Questioning her never occurred to me. Slowly, carefully, we began rebuilding our relationship. Not as the naive couple we'd been, but as parents united in protecting our daughter. Emma was thriving. Happy, healthy, loved. Everything Helena claimed to want for her, but through methods Helena could never provide. The bond between mother and child that Helena tried to break had only grown stronger through our trials. Blood wasn't thicker than truth. Family loyalty meant protecting the innocent, not enabling the guilty. Desperate and facing professional ruin, Helena made one last attempt to regain control. She hired a private investigator to find evidence of my unfitness as a mother. The investigator, an ethical professional, immediately reported Helena's request to the police. Attempting to manufacture evidence was another crime to add to her growing list. But Helena's desperation led to her biggest mistake yet. She tried to kidnap Emma from daycare. The daycare director, warned about Helena months earlier, immediately called police when she appeared claiming to pick up Emma for a family emergency. Helena was arrested in the parking lot, crying and claiming she just wanted to protect her granddaughter. That baby needs me, she sobbed to the officers. Her mother doesn't understand what's best for her. The kidnapping attempt violated her restraining order, her contempt warning, and crossed into criminal territory. This time Helena would face more than professional consequences. This time she would face jail. Helena's kidnapping attempt made regional news. Disbarred lawyer attempts to abduct granddaughter ran in newspapers across 3 states. The criminal trial was swift and decisive. Security footage showed Helena demanding Emma from the daycare. Her recorded statements proved premeditation. I have every right to see my granddaughter, she told the daycare director. I'm better for her than her mother could ever be. The judge wasn't sympathetic to Helena's claims about Emma's welfare. Her pattern of harassment, manipulation, and now attempted kidnapping showed clear criminal intent. Helena was sentenced to 6 months in jail, 2 years probation, and permanent restrictions on contact with our family. Standing in the courtroom holding Emma close, I felt a deep sense of closure. The woman who tried to steal my daughter would finally face real consequences. But my victory wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about protecting Emma from a toxic influence that would have damaged her entire life. Helena's obsession had destroyed herself, not us. Helena's downfall was complete and public. The woman who'd once commanded respect through fear and money was now a cautionary tale. Her former clients spoke out about years of manipulation and overcharging. Her employees revealed workplace abuse and unethical practices. She always acted like she was better than everyone, one former secretary told the newspaper. Turns out she was worse than most. The community rallied around our family. Neighbors who'd been intimidated by Helena's status now shared stories of her arrogance and cruelty. Emma's daycare started a support fund for legal fees, though we no longer needed it. Local parents organized playgroups, creating the community support network Helena had tried to destroy. Most surprisingly, some of Helena's own extended family reached out to apologize for her behavior and express support for our decision to protect Emma. We've known Helena was controlling for years, her sister admitted, but we never thought she'd try to steal a baby. Even in defeat, Helena was bringing people together, just not in the way she'd intended. A year later, our lives looked completely different. Michael and I had slowly rebuilt our marriage on a foundation of honesty and shared protection of Emma. He'd learned to recognize manipulation and set boundaries with his remaining family members who still defended Helena's actions. Emma was walking now, chattering constantly, completely unaware of the battle that had been fought to keep her safe. Helena was released from jail, but remained on probation with strict no-contact orders. She'd moved to another state, her reputation destroyed, her career finished. We'd won more than a legal battle. We'd broken a cycle of generational control and manipulation that might have damaged Emma for life. Do you think she'll try again? Michael asked one evening as we watched Emma play. I considered the question carefully. She might want to, I said finally. But she knows now that I'll fight for our daughter. And I'll win. The woman who'd underestimated me had learned a painful lesson. Mothers protecting their children are the most dangerous opponents of all. 2 years after Helena's first adoption attempt, I received an unexpected letter. Not from Helena, but from her former law partner, now managing the firm's closure and client transitions. Helena had died in her new state. Alone, estranged from most family, her legacy defined by her final desperate acts rather than her professional achievements. I felt sad, but not for Helena. I felt sad for Emma, who would grow up knowing her paternal grandmother had tried to steal her rather than love her properly. Michael cried when I told him. Not from grief, but from the waste of it all. She could have just been a loving grandmother, he said. Instead, she chose control over connection. We never told Emma the full story, but we taught her about boundaries, consent, and the difference between love and possession. The safety deposit box full of evidence remains locked away, a reminder of how far some people will go when challenged, and how far a mother will go to protect her child. Helena's attempt to erase me from Emma's life had backfired completely. Instead, it had made me stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. Sometimes the best revenge is simply surviving, thriving, and protecting what matters most. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more powerful narratives, and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what part hit you the hardest. Thanks for watching.